So I'm really excited. We're here at SkillsUSA in Atlanta. It's the National Championships and the Leadership Conference. And I'm very excited because we have one of the competitors that is competing tomorrow in carpentry. His name's Rylan Boyle, and he's going to tell us how he ended up here. Thanks for being with us, Rylan.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
So first thing I want to know is, were you always in career tech ed in school while you were in high school? Because you just graduated, right?
Yes, I did.
Just graduated. So all 4 years?
Definitely. I did a lot of CTE from a bunch of different ranges. I've done engineering CTE, carpentry, a couple different shop classes. I've done photography, broadcast journalism. The only CTE at my school that I didn't touch in is culinary, but other than that, I've done everything. I did stage tech too.
That's cool. So what made you want to do all of those different classes?
For me, that's just what I enjoy. I really enjoy working and learning and just doing. I find those classes way more fun than my math classes and my English classes. Not that they're bad, I think they're still very important, but CTE is what I'm going to see myself doing in the future. And I think I learn more in my CTE classes than I do in any others.
Wow, very cool. I mean, we talk about career tech ed because it lets you get your hands on things, try out different careers, right?
Definitely.
So is there any particular one that stands out to you? You're like, I'm leaning towards...
So I got into stage tech this year, and I've got to say, I don't want to leave theaters.
Oh,
it's
cool.
a lot of fun. There's so much to it. You learn, you can basically do whatever you want inside of stage tech. So if you want to go for, a lighting route or a sound route or a backstage route, and even there's sections of it that apply to like what's going on here, like electrical work, all your lighting hangs, all of your sets have electrical, as well as building. Someone has to make the sets, and that's actually what I focused a lot in. I was the master carpenter for the 3 drama shows at my school this year. So I feel bad for anyone else who wanted those for any of the drama shows because I took them all up. But yeah.
You know what I like about that is I don't think a lot of young people know those kind of career opportunities like carpentry, building, electrical, all this. It could actually be for sets in huge theaters.
Definitely. And I'm from Burbank, California, which is a studio hotspot. It's right on the other side of the mountain from Hollywood.
Okay.
And we have all these studios. There's so many people that are in the studios. We have like Disney, ABC, 7, a bunch of different news stations, a bunch of different movie production companies. So it's definitely an amazing spot to get into set building and get into any of those like trades.
Oh, I think that's exciting. I mean, I wouldn't have thought, nobody told me there were jobs like that or careers like that turns into a career for you. SkillsUSA, did you do that the whole time in your CTE program?
I did not. So I've participated in SkillsUSA for 2 years now. My first year I did robotics, urban search and rescue, where I had to build a small robot to traverse a course to get little ordnance bombs out of mailboxes and whatnot and deliver them away. It was pretty cool. The robots were about 18 inches cubed, built out of like aluminum extrusion. You put servo motors on them and you made little arm actuators to grab stuff with.
So you did all of this in class. This is what, or what you learned to do so you could come here and compete and do that.
Definitely. Yeah.
Holy cow.
It was a lot of fun. You had to drive by camera as well. So you weren't allowed to look at your robot. So we had a GoPro stationed on the back of our robot. And we had to do all of our motions through that. And we also had a teammate to communicate with us, but it was all through a camera or through word of mouth.
What I love about this is people don't even know these kind of classes exist, right? Like your day at school is probably a lot different than even people that are listening to us right now that said, well, all I did was go to math and then English and then science and then history. Your day looked a lot different.
I mean, I had 4 elective classes my senior year. And I ended up actually taking 7 classes instead of 6 in a given day, just because there were more electives that I wanted to take and more electives that I wanted to get involved in.
Okay, so that's really unusual for a student to say that, so they must have been really fun classes.
They were.
That's
an amazing opportunity.
So tomorrow, you're competing in carpentry.
I am.
How nervous are you?
Well, I'm not terribly nervous. I think that this is definitely going to be a challenging competition. But I think a lot of the other competitors are at an equal skill level, so we're all going to be equally advantaged or disadvantaged. and it's going to be interesting. There's definitely some aspects that I haven't built before, and I have to go home after this and start studying for and figure out how to do it better. But I'm excited, and I think I'm going to do pretty well. Yeah.
So what have you, just to help people understand what it's like to be in the national carpentry competition, what have you had to do so far prior to actually starting to build tomorrow?
So in the beginning of the school year, the SkillsUSA kind of opened up, and you could select what competitions you wanted to go in accordance to your CTE classes. So my woodshop teacher asked me if I wanted to participate. This is my second year with him, and I said, yeah, sure thing, I'd love to. So we started looking at the woodworking options, and there was a cabinet making one and a carpentry one. And traditionally, my wood shop has done the woodworking one. That's what our wood shop is built for, and that's what we learned in the class. But me and one of my best buds who was with me said, no, man, I want to do carpentry. That sounds like so much fun.
Cool.
And my instructor said, sure, yeah, let's try that out. So we kind of switched our classes over from a more wood shop, cabinet making type class to a construction class. And we're changing the name of the class, as well as the classwork in the future.
So all this happened because you were like, no, I want to do carpentry.
Yeah, me and my buddy. We're like, that sounds like a little bit more fun. So our classes have totally switched over to more building, like what you're going to do in real life, carpentry. We have new curriculums and whatnot, and we're enrolling in more and more competitions.
Okay.
So this is our first year doing carpentry at my school, and me and my buddy were the only two competitors from SkillsUSA who wanted to compete in the woodworking options. But we were also able to enroll in another carpentry competition called CIEF Design Build.
Okay.
And that was a much larger scale. It was like teams of 5 to 15 people.
Okay.
And there's multiple competitions across the U.S. And you have like 2 days to build an entire shed of your own design.
Okay.
So we ended up building a 96 square foot shed, which is pretty cool. And I think we didn't win any awards for the shed, but this is also our rookie year and our first year, as a construction class.
Right.
So I think we did it out amazing for our first year.
Good for you.
And I'm extremely excited to see where our class is going to go in the future with it, because I think we're going to learn so much each year, and I think we have a lot of the resources that we need to get there. We don't have quite everything quite yet, from switching over from woodworking to carpentry. We still have a lot more, older hand tools or more fine tools. So we're working on getting some more stuff that's more important to carpentry, like your speed squares, your jigsaws, your skill saws, hammers, tool belts.
Cool tools.
Definitely.
Okay, so you compete and you go to the state competition, right, in
Yes.
California. How was that? How many people? Tell us anything you remember about being at the state competition.
The state competition was a lot of fun. We were outside, which was not the greatest, but we were under a tent.
Come on, but it's California.
Yeah, it was earlier too, but it definitely got hot out there.
Gotcha.
We were under one of those giant white rental tents, and it was just packed with competitors.
Oh, wow.
Carpentry and Teamworks were both under the tents, and I think that there were probably 30 to 50 carpentry competitors, and then maybe 15 or 20 Teamworks groups.
Wow.
So it was crazy. There was a lot going on. But anyways, the competition itself went pretty well. There was...
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
You won. I mean, you're here at Nationals.
Yeah. But it was a really good learning opportunity, I'd say. It was definitely a new step. I learned a lot from it, and I met a bunch of new people.
That's cool.
And it was a really cool competition. It was hard, though, but it was really
hard,
cool.
But
Yeah.
it was good, and obviously you did well. So, Swinnerton,
Yes.
as a company, we work with them too, partnership, doing different things with them. But they helped you get here. Tell us about how that happened and how you hooked up with Swinnerton.
So I first met Swinnerton at my state competition. They were all the judges and all the leadership positions there. So they brought us all of our materials. They made the plans for us, and they basically made it happen for us. And throughout the entire competition, I was talking to the judges and talking to all the people in charge and just learning from them, and just understanding how they work and whatnot. And I guess they kind of started to like me. And then when I managed to get first place in the competition, My woodshop teacher started talking to them, and they said that they were willing to help sponsor me to get to the national competition.
Because you had to come from California here to
Definitely.
Atlanta.
Yeah, it was a long trip. So they offered to help me out financially with getting here, which was an amazing help. And they also offered to sponsor my class.
Okay.
So from now on, Swinnerton is going to be offering us a bunch of grants for tools every single
Nice.
year,
That's
which
awesome.
is going to go back to what I was saying earlier, how we're switching from more woodworking to carpentry. A lot of our new tools that are going to help us out in these competitions and help our kids learn more are going to be coming because of the Swinnerton grants, which is amazing. They're also going to send representatives to talk to us and take us on field trips every semester, so the students can actually see some real job sites and
Absolutely.
see if that's what they want to do in their life. It's an
That
amazing
is-
opportunity.
How good do you feel that this came about because you and your buddy said, let's do carpentry?
I'm extremely happy. I think we're going to turn the wood shop program at our school into a really big and powerful CTE class. Our school is kind of known for having powerhouses of like sports teams, and our choir is
Okay.
outstanding. And I think it'd be really, really cool if our carpentry class could join those ranks.
And what
at the
better
top.
class to do it? That would be great. Like up there with
Definitely.
the sports and everything. That would be fantastic.
Especially as shop classes are slowly starting to die out. I think it's amazing that we have this little powerhouse inside of our school.
What would you say to parents or students that don't know about career tech ed and don't think like, oh, I don't want to take those classes?
Watch YouTube.
Watch YouTube?
Seriously. There's a lot of things that you'll have no clue relate to each other. You might not know what you want to do, but if you just take career tech ed classes that you think apply maybe a little bit to you, you will quickly refine and find what you enjoy and what you don't enjoy. Like I was talking about tech earlier, it's an extremely broad spectrum for anyone who wants to join, whatever they want to do. Like I said, we had people who know electricity, and they were doing all of our lighting and all of our sets and stuff. People who know woodworking, who are building our sets. People who know how to painting all of our sets.
Yeah.
They do an outstanding job. We made like a 40-foot span castle, and all the bricks were hand painted onto it. Like,
Really?
uh-huh.
Oh, that's cool.
All our stage management. Like, I think that tech is just an amazing place where you can pretty easily find something that you'll
You
enjoy.
like.
Yep. And then from there, you can be more specific. So if you found that you like building sets in tech, you can go and join, your wood shop CTE classes, and you can further enhance that. You can learn more, and you can further your skill in education.
That's fair. I feel like I'm talking to someone that's like 30 years old and you like have all this experience and you're talking about like, you really are like, he should be the poster child for career tech ed or something. I don't know.
My back and hips are telling me I'm 30, so
So you get here, and with the carpentry competition, you've already met the competitors. Did you already have to take a test?
Yeah, we took a written test on, what's today? Tuesday? We took it on Tuesday.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad, actually. I was kind of surprised.
Okay. So you take that test, and then today, do you know what you're going to build tomorrow? How does that work? Because, you come in at 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning, and you only have, 8 hours to build?
I believe so. We're building from 7:30 to 4:30.
Okay. So do you know what it is? Did you get to see anything?
We did. We got to look at our drawings today for about 20 or 30 minutes.
Ooh,
And
that's not much.
It was not much. You weren't allowed to take notes either, which were different from the state competition.
Okay.
So for the regional competition, we were emailed our plans, maybe a week before, and we were able to fully go through it and figure out what we wanted to do and whatnot. At state, we were given the plans the day before, and we were given, again, like 30-ish minutes to take notes, start making cut lists, figure out how we want to do things. But here they said you're not allowed to write no notes. We're going to give them to you so you can look at them and figure out what you want to do, and then we're going to take them back, and then tomorrow you're going to build it.
No pressure at all.
No, of
At
course
all.
not.
Just like 20 minutes. What? You don't need more than that.
Yeah, it's great.
So what do you do when you get that 20 minutes? What's going through your head? What are you thinking about? What do you have to do?
What are my first steps? I think it's really important to establish a foundation before you start just going all over the place. I think if you don't have your first steps, it's going to be really hard to get in a rhythm and get going and get up to high speed because it's an extremely complex building. And if you don't know where you want to start, you're going to start picking little pieces from
Yes.
different things, and you're going to get confused. You're going to make mistakes. So just figuring out, what are the first 3 things you're going to do. The second they blow that air horn in the morning, I think that's the most important part.
So based on last year you were here for robotics, like how is the time, is the pressure, do you feel it on the day people are watching you, people are taking pictures, you're trying to do something, do you feel that pressure yourself?
Definitely. It's a big thing, and controlling it is probably a bigger thing, because I think the most pressure comes from watching your competitors. They're right around you. You got guys all around you, and you have to understand that they need to be your pacer, but also you need to not get overwhelmed when they're ahead of you, because a lot of times they're actually not ahead of you. They might look like they have more done, but what they don't know you have is that you have cut lists for 3 more walls, and they don't, and they're about to have to sit down for another 30 minutes and figure
Maybe you don't want to
out.
give your secrets away.
Definitely. That's too.
Hopefully nobody here. We'll make sure that they don't hear this.
Good.
No, that's good. And so what's next for you? So you may end up winning gold here. Don't know. It's kind of like
Maybe.
the Olympics. You don't know. Hopefully. What are your plans?
Well, after I'm now done in high school, so my next step is going to be going to college. I'm going to Cal Poly Pomona, which is a polytechnic school in California for mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So that's going to be my next 4 years.
There you go. And maybe building sets on the side?
Definitely. I want to stay in theaters. When I was on my campus tours, I'm noticing the theater from across the campus, because you can totally tell which building has a theater in it, because it's a moderately high building with no windows. And then over the stage, it sticks way up for the rigging system, the fly system, because everything flies up and down.
Gotcha.
So you can just tell there's their theater. And you also can tell how good their theater is by how big their rigging system is, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
So they have a little tiny section, you're like, it's kind of small, they don't have a big thing. But if you see a massive tall portion, you're like, that's a good theater.
That's where I want to be. I want to do that. I think it's so cool because it's like you already knew what to look for, and you're already kind of like, I'm going to Polytech. This is what I make sure there's a theater building. I got my side job. This is what I'm going to do.
Definitely.
That's very cool. Mechanical engineer, so do you see yourself going directly into that after college, and you want to work for a particular firm or in a particular sector?
Not necessarily. I don't necessarily want to go into theater. I think that theater is an amazing place, but I don't know if I want it to be my number one or not. I definitely want to stay in theaters for the rest of my life, because I think it's just an amazing opportunity. And I'm totally happy doing it for gigs and stuff, and I know it will be. But in general, I just kind of want a job where I'm building, ideally something new every single time, maybe working on projects where you start off working on projects where you're a part of the entire
project team, the process.
Yep, the entire process. You start with the idea, the design, then you get to build it and see it for real.
That's awesome.
And then, one project's over and you start the next, and it's new and unique every single time.
That's so cool. So I'm really excited for you. We're going to be rooting for you tomorrow. Going to come over there and take some pictures and everything, looking at you. But thank you for coming and spending some time. Is there any last thoughts that you want to say just about your journey through high school that would be encouraging to other people?
I think that you should always say yes to as many opportunities as you can. Of course, there's limitations to that. I think you need to prioritize what you want to put more energy and more effort into. But just because you're not aware of what something is doesn't mean you should shut it down initially. At least do your research and figure out, know your competition effectively.
Absolutely.
Know what's going on and then decide.
That's great advice. Again, like blowing my mind here. And this is what Career Tech Ed does for young people and SkillsUSA. So super happy for you, Rylan. I hope you do amazing tomorrow. We're going to look for you to be getting that gold, silver, bronze right up in the top.
I hope so.
Okay, we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you so much.